Hey guys, Steve from Gym Hub. I hope you're well. Today's video is a reply to a question I received from one of my mentoring clients based in New South Wales, who has recently had a little bit of turnover with staff and felt highly stressed. And he asked, how do you stay calm and how do you avoid the sort of stress levels coming up when you're running a small business? Now, I just want to share a couple of strategies today that have been useful for me. I also want to be transparent and let you know that these aren't things that came naturally to me, but things that I've sort of learned by watching others and by reading about the topic. What are the benefits in actually not being highly stressed? One is that you can have longevity in the industry. Number two is that you're actually leading by example. So when your staff actually see you handle a challenge or a problem and you remain calm and measured and, upbeat about the whole process, they tend to copy that. Likewise, or on the other side, if they see you short in your response, if they see you, unable to smile because you're just really feeling the stress, they tend to transfer that over to the clients when they're out on the gym floor. So there's lots of benefits in keeping this in mind. Hopefully those two is a good incentive for you to consider these strategies. So the first strategy I want to show you today is considering your mindset. So what I mean by this is that the first one is understand the game. So if you are in business, I think it's really important to actually accept that you're in business. You need to understand that staff will at times let you down. You need to understand that sometimes the building or the equipment or these things are going to break. You're going to have members who complain. There's going to be these sort of negatives or stresses that come into our life. But if we actually understand the game, if we accept the fact that these will come, we're not really shocked by them. They don't usually have the same impact on us. So number one with mindset is understand the game and accept the fact you're in business. We have to do a bit of problem solving along the way. Number two is don't worry about what you can't control. So there is a whole range of different things you can do in running a business that will put you in a position to be successful. Things like sales, things like marketing, things like recruiting and developing your team. And these are the things you want to focus your time and energy on. The things that are outside of your control are not worth worrying about. Try and reserve that energy and try not to sort of get distracted by it. The third one is the Richard Branson response. So having read a couple of his sort of autobiographies, he talks about these challenges that come into his businesses. I think he's got more than 50 of them at the moment. And he talks about each one of them, the way he looks at it is seeing it as a challenge. He looks at that and he goes, okay, well, how do I respond? And this is something that I really admire him for. It's something I actually learned from a mentor of mine named Matt Williams, was that when a certain circumstance happens, it's not necessarily the circumstance that dictates the outcome, but it's how we respond that dictates the outcome. So if you lose 10 members today, gym owner A might flip out, get highly stressed, start yelling at staff and complaining that our members don't appreciate us and it's not worth being in the industry and, sort of start pulling their hair out. Whereas gym member B might look at it and go, okay, so why are members leaving? Should I have a chat with them? Should I figure out if there's some I could save? Should I figure out if there's anything we can learn from this? But it's all just in our response rate, and that's a decision. And I learned that from watching a friend of mine who's always upbeat, who's always very positive, and he chooses to respond in a positive way, and that's something I'm choosing to do as well now. Number two, planning. So one of the ways you can decrease your stress is to plan more and plan better. So if you felt stressed last year, my recommendation for this year is to plan more. Now, the two biggest areas that I find that stress a small business owner are marketing and recruitment. So if you haven't done so already, look through the Gym Hub emails or look through and message me. But we have something called the marketing map, which is a quarterly planner for what you plan to do to generate leads to bring people into your business. If you do have that in place, you can go on holidays, You can take time out to do courses or to write a book or add something different. Maybe you've got an additional business, but you can be confident there's enough leads coming into the top of the funnel for your business to be profitable. If you don't have those things in place, that's when we start to panic and we sort of are reactive and we start to sort of think, okay, I need leads today. What do I have to do? Number 2 is recruitment. So believe it or not, some gym owners or studio owners still are shocked by the fact that our staff leave. So if you plan a little bit better, if you're constantly on like a Healthy People or Seek and you're constantly looking for the next talented trainer or reception staff to work for your business, you'll never be put in a position that that puts your business in jeopardy or makes you highly stressed. So always make sure our marketing's set up at least 1 quarter in advance. That way, if challenges come up or things arise where you need to actually not be there or you need to sort of problem solve, you know that the lead flow is still coming through and the business is going to be profitable. Likewise, if someone lets you down, it doesn't matter. You should have a little army or a little team of people who are competent, upbeat and enthusiastic and willing to step into the role. So focus on those 2 aspects. Number 3 is routine. So often the things that increase our stress is variety. So it's environments or it's activities that we're not used to. So if you're trying to decrease your stress, think about how you can add a bit more routine to your week. Think about the meetings that you might set up with your staff or your manager. Think about checking in on those KPIs or those key numbers in your business so that there's no shocks that can come along. The other part of routine is your food and your exercise. Now, it seems silly having to remind fitness industry business owners to consider these, but things like the quality of your food and the meal you have for breakfast do play a role in the way that we can adapt and the way that we can sort of cope with stress, as does things like meditation, as does things like the amount of coffee or alcohol and that we're having as well. So consider your routine to stay calm and cope with stress this year. The last one I want to talk about is 1 step removed. So what I mean by that is our goal as a business owner is not to be doing everything. The role of actually interacting in customer service is a tiring one. If you're constantly involved on the front line and you're responding to member inquiries, you're responding to member challenges, you're helping staff, you're doing every aspect of the business, including finances and marketing and stuff like that, you will eventually get worn out and you will start to feel that stress more. So my recommendation is work out a way where you can be 1 step removed. Position a key person in like a management role where they can actually do some of that interaction and that first point of contact with members and staff. Therefore, you can have a longer and more enjoyable lifespan in the fitness industry and start to work more on those sort of big picture activities. So they're like the top 4 areas I would recommend to stay calm and to, I guess, enjoy the fitness industry, be profitable in the fitness industry whilst being stress-free. I hope it's been useful. If there was anything in today's video that you did find useful, please leave a comment or share it with a friend. I look forward to seeing you next week. Cheers.